Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 8 of the Talkin Puck podcast. Today, we don't have a guest. We're just kind of going with the flow here. Probably going to do a episode like this every week if we can't get a guest on. And today, we'll just be talking about the QMJHL playoffs, CHL playoffs, maybe even NHL playoffs, just stuff like that. Kind of go with it. And so few playoffs. We're in the finals right now. Game 2. Been at it for probably a month around now. And Matthew, what's going on with all the first round series?
So, for the first round matchups, we had Quebec taking on Chicoutimi. Quebec ended up taking over that in a sweep 3-0. Charlottetown Islanders took on Moncton. They swept Moncton 3-0 as well. Rimouski against St. John's 3-2 in overtime thanks to Alexander Gudas. And then we had Bathurst taking on Halifax. Thomas Belgar, shorthanded goal. Sherbrooke took on Baie-Comeau. They took them 3-1. Gatineau played Val-d'Or. They took them 3-1. And then I believe that is it for... Oh, no. And then we had Shawinigan taking on Randa. They took them 3-0. And then for quarterfinals, we had Blainville taking on Drummondville. They took them 3-1. Charlottetown took Bathurst 3-0. Quebec took Rimouski 3-1. Sherbrooke took Blainville 3-0. Gatineau lost to Shawinigan 3-0. And then Shawinigan in the semifinals, Shawinigan took on Quebec. Big matchup there, big Quebec matchup. No one expected the Cataracts to take out that one, especially with how the Ramparts were doing this year in the regular season. But Pierre Dubé took the power play goal to secure the 3-2 final against Quebec. Charlottetown Islanders took on Sherbrooke Phoenix. They took them 3-1. And then now we have the Shawinigan Cataracts up 2-0 in the finals against Charlottetown.
Yeah, and jumping back to last series, the Quebec and Shawinigan, that was like a good series. Every game was close. It was only game 5 that was a 2-goal lead. Every other game was a 1-goal lead. Yep. And it was an empty netter too. And the goal to take the lead under a minute left. So over here on our side was a pretty good series too. It only went to 4, but still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And now we're in the finals. And first game, the Islanders, they put up pretty not very good fight. Their defense was not very good. No, not at all. Not to get a win at all. Never held up at all.
Yeah, not the outcome Islanders fans were looking for in game 1.
Yeah, and the crowd was going crazy, so it was a little bit of a letdown. And the refs weren't very good. But then game 2 came along, a lot better effort.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't know what happened last night. It was pretty crazy. So I'll chuck what happened the call right now up on screen. And basically what happened, Xavier Simoneau, you see Timo Meyer's hand pass 2019 conference final or second round, whatever it was. And they called that on a rush. Or never called it. And that was on a rush. Yeah. That should have been called. This is off a face-off in the playoff. This is huge. You don't call that. And it was a linesman to call it. It makes no sense. And you talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I caught a quick glimpse of it. I was there live as well as Noah. But I saw linesman Hicks put his hand up and he called holding the puck or something like that, was it?
Yeah, what is that? I never heard that.
And I actually did a bit of digging. A linesman can tell the referee that should be a penalty, but a linesman can't call an actual penalty. So I believe there was a few pissed off fans in the crowd. A lot of bottles. There was bottles, garbage, a bunch of stuff thrown on the ice at the refs and everything. And
which it was good. That's good because it puts a message that's terrible. There's no need of that. And I just cringe at it. It's these 4-year-old fucking fat dudes who just ruin it for a bunch of kids. That's got to be on purpose. There's no way that you just call that because you're in the game, in the zone. There's no way. You should, if you're that experienced as a ref, you let that slide. You don't follow really much.
Right. And
Unreal.
it was 3-2. 6 seconds left. Seminola was in the box. Shawinigan ended up scoring to tie it up. And fans were not impressed. As soon as that goal happened, bottles on the ice, everything.
Oh, it was crazy. Like we thought
was crazy.
when that call happened, we thought that was bad, or even that first goal.
Yep.
The overtime, ice just littered full of like the
Overtime,
clappers, bottles, anything.
Yeah, everyone was throwing everything. It was unreal.
It's good that they did that. And
yeah,
on the bright side for the Islanders, we lost every game at home against Shawinigan, but won every game on the road. And last year in the playoffs, playing against Bathurst, we were at this rink. We had a lot of success there. So like,
we did.
Got to look on the bright side of things now. You just got to move on, especially for them. But for us, we can spill all we want. We can talk it. But yeah, and being there, like us being there live, it's just added to the atmosphere.
Yeah, and even the radio announcers for the Islanders were just going off on Hicks and the linesman and the refereeing that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It was unreal. And the Islanders so far the playoff series I should say, haven't lost on the road. Yep. They lost to Sherbrooke at home, and I believe that was 3-2. I believe it was.
Yeah, it was
close. It was close.
Yeah. It was a lot better effort by Sherbrooke.
It's awful to see those 18, 19-year-old kids getting called by 40-year-old guys that are just there being paid $20 an hour.
And to be totally honest, like a little bit of a background of where we started. I remember back in the fall, we were getting into pods, and I remember one of the first ones me personally I watched was Adam Hicks. It was just a crazy good pod. He's talking about Boko and Mama fighting and all really cool stuff. Yeah. And now how you look at him today, everybody is like, what the hell happened? This guy's so experienced. He's such a good guy, still is. But I don't know what has to go through your head to call that. It's unreal.
Yeah, and I remember there was a funny moment. I believe it was Series 1 against Moncton. As soon as the Islanders were coming out, you could see Adam Hicks' lips moving as the announcer was announcing the Islanders onto the ice. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. Like he's a good guy, and he's a good guy. Like all the players still love him.
He's funny. He's chill. It was just that game that he wasn't allowed to call that.
That moment that can ruin it.
Yeah.
And a little thing about Shawinigan, their biggest thing, like for them going, is that they got one of the best goalies. Like they got both goalies are like 01s, really experienced. One of them had the best numbers this year, or like in the second half. The other one is experienced as hell. And their power play, and of course they scored in the power play 6 seconds. Right. Their power play is dangerous and scary. The way they set up and their defense, they'll put a guy right there. He's not moving. He'll get hit with 5 shots, be it on his knees. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He'll keep on battling, and that's what wins championships right there.
Yeah, I had a view of the actual game-tying goal, and I will say Xavier Bourgault, his shot is unreal.
It's gnarly. Like who scored that first goal for Shawinigan too? It was like the exact same. It was nice snipe. Yeah. I think it was Bork. I honestly don't know.
It might have been Bork, yeah, but I know Bourgault scored that game-tying goal above the trapper of LaPenna, and it was sniped. Shawinigan fans in the rink were going nuts. I know. I had a couple of Shawinigan fans sitting beside me. They told me that they took a bus. They took a fan bus from Shawinigan, which is like what? It's 12 hours away. Because I know Shawinigan's really up there in Quebec, yeah.
Yeah, and they're on the West Coast, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. That's commitment too. And I remember next to where we were had these officials, and we were talking to them, and they were like, "We didn't deserve that win at all. Like that was the officials. You guys got robbed of that." And that just shows that the other team's officials, like their big staff, there's big GM guys are saying that, then of course, like everybody's gonna agree with it. And if their fans, their people, they agree with us, then it just shows that it's not fair. And what happened last night shouldn't have happened. Not the call, not the overtime goal, nothing. Like it shouldn't have went to overtime.
I will say the Islanders are not a overtime team. You could just see it. You could see it that they were gassed.
And that's another thing about
into overtime.
them, and it's that and their D in game one. Like
Game one, their
can't
D.
play like that.
Game one, their D. It was like they had concrete blocks trapped to their skates. It was unreal.
Like you play better than that in the regular season. Like,
Right. And this isn't taking shots at the Islanders or anything and their players.
no,
We're
exactly.
just saying what we've been seeing.
This is the truth. This is truth,
Right.
and this is what really happened out there.
And for me, I'm a big fan of Dawson Sayers, but game one, it was unreal. He was turning over the puck and everything.
And they did a little. Seamino was out, and they had to put one of their
Sam Bonus
in, and there's a couple. Like when you get these really big teams, like 2019 Miranda, blah blah blah, all these big teams, you don't see guys like that. So I just wondering, like, yes, you get the same age, but I think the Islanders, they love the local guys, and sometimes that can take a toll for a guy that's still in an 05 playing.
Like he could still be in midget right now.
Easily, and now he's playing in the President's Cup Finals. Probably nervous as balls out there, and has a bad game and has to come out. But I don't know. It's just things like that you can't play with in the playoffs at all.
And I've been seeing
out there.
Patrick LeBlanc walking around, looks perfectly normal, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with him.
I'm so confused.
I'm just really confused with that. I mean,
unreal.
There's these young guys out here, Gallant, Horth. I mean, he was doing pretty good last night. Had a couple nice hits. Same with Boyd and Elliott.
Yeah, Boyd likes to throw that body.
Him and Boyd, yeah. I remember seeing the series against Bathurst. They had 18 hits combined.
Yeah.
To like
him
what,
and Elliott,
7? Yeah, him and Elliott combined 18 hits to 7 hits against Bathurst.
Him and Elliott, he's a good guy, and he's a grinder, man. He's unreal.
Oh yeah, man, he has wheels on him.
The way he skates, he doesn't give a shit. Like he just skates, like arms flaring, like this kid gets hurt, and that's what you need in the playoffs right now. And back to what we were talking about, having guys like that in the game.
I mean, Elliott's a small guy, and he's throwing bodies against these like 6'4", 6'5" guys.
Yeah, it's like Kieran Gallant. Like he's a small little dude, but he grinds. I've never seen a harder working hockey player in my life. Like the way he goes out there and just gets plowed over.
He tries hits, but he ends up getting dropped, but he gets right back up and he wheels.
Exactly, and that's the way you got to be when you're that size. And a lot of people they don't do that. But that's good.
Yeah, I remember in the regular season, he went on like a goal drought, like for the first like 10, 15 games, and he had his first goal at home. And everyone was going nuts. He was ecstatic. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's good for him, local guy, right?
Yeah, local guy.
He's a good kid too. So,
if you want to talk about the Patty Gay home, 50-goal home stand.
Dude, when you're watching, it's like I guess I can compare this to watching Andre Vasilevsky. Like I know everyone can agree with this. When you're watching him in the playoffs, he has that look to him, and you know he's not getting scored on. And when you're watching Pat Gay, when you're watching him go through everybody, you know he's scoring. Like you had to be there to see it, and it's unreal. And he's just a great hockey player, and I hope that the scouts and everybody sees this because he's not old enough to get drafted. No, he's too old to get drafted now, so he can sign somewhere, which he will. He will. He's too good not to.
I mean, look at Artemi Panarin. He went undrafted, and he ended up signing with the Blackhawks, and now he's an unreal player.
Unreal, and he had like one of the biggest contracts ever. Like
he did.
NHL.
Yep. It was like
they love to see it.
I think it was like 7 years, something like that.
And although the Islanders do have a lot of guys drafted, that's one thing I noticed about them. They get these guys who are just good and that get the job done. And the guys that they have with them, even down at junior A, are the exact same way. They really know how to build a team. They don't draft a guy in midget, build their team up. This team has never had a bad team. And so past 5 years, they made it to the semifinals or like finals every single year except 2019. 2019 they still had a good team. They just kind of choked. Yeah. So this team really knows how to build a good team every year. And now that they built this great team, you're right here. And back to what we're saying with the rest, just screwing it back over. And you're right here. You're so close, and they get ruined by that. And it's only game 2, but that's a huge momentum switch because that going through your head right now, you only way you can win at home, like the President's Cup, is in Game 7. You don't want a Game 7. You never do.